Hi there. Are you willing to withstand the heat and make useful decisions in your best interests? Hello there. One of the things that I've been trying to do since I started this 12-week challenge is to kind of create in myself this mindful self, this observing self, a self that I look at myself closely as an observer and try to be present with myself through this whole journey. And that's whether I'm in the ups or the downs or the neutrals. And I really hope that that message is coming over, because when we are mindful of ourselves, and I don't mean in a woo-woo kind of hippy-dippy mindfulness meditation way, I just mean that we're connected to ourselves on a basis that we can actually identify what's going on at this present moment. When we do that, we do not generate as much distress and unnecessary emergency system kind of hormones and biochemistry within our body as we would if we were trying to run away, avoid, or fight our uncomfortable and painful emotions and thoughts and body sensations. So by adding that kind of observing, being present with me self to what actually do I want to do, what matters to me, what's important for me to do, when I mix these two together, it's usually something that the outcome is very useful for me and in my own self-interest, which is to contribute to others. So I've been trying to put that into practice for a long time now, and in this 12-week challenge I want to demonstrate that so you too can also put that into practice. Now, it's not easy, right? And I'm using back to the Mindful and Acceptance Workbook for Stress Reduction. And it's a practice. It's not something that you just kind of do once and that's it done. It's something that you have to revisit again and again and again. And in fact, every time you revisit it, it's not that it's not working, it's just that it might be on a deeper level now. So when you first start being mindful, you notice different physical sensations in your body, some of them painful, some of them pleasant. You'll notice maybe your thoughts. And you'll notice kind of what kind of mood you're in at any particular time of the day, and it can change. Excuse me, but once we kind of become much more used to doing that, when we revisit ourselves, now we're kind of digging a little bit deeper. What do I actually want to do with myself? How do I actually want to behave? How do I want to show up in my life? And for me, in this particular example of the 12-week challenge, one of the things that I want to do, apart from showing up here every day, which is in a challenge itself, I also want to finish this 12-week challenge with an actual physical product, if you like. And that is my online course. And so I'm very happy that, especially after that kind of 2.5-week hiatus that I was off ill, I've actually managed to get to the point where I've actually designed the course, and today I actually filmed the first installment, the first video of the course. So I'm very happy with that. Now, again, my self-critical mind comes in and says, well, that probably was a rubbish take. And it might be and it might not be. But at the end of the day, it's done and in the can, and it can always be improved afterwards. But I'm moving forward in the direction that's important to me. So I encourage you. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, it's probably better that it's not perfect, because perfect kind of holds us back a lot of the time. Iranian carpets is my best example. The fact that they're so valuable is because they're not perfect. Perfect is usually a sign of machine commercially made carpets, when they've got flaws in them, that's usually a sign that they're handmade, yeah? So in your particular challenge, in your life, in your business, in your personal direction of what matters to you, perfect is not necessarily the best thing to aim for, but just being good enough, just being to the point where, not good enough in the sense that it's haphazard and sloppy, but good enough in that, you know what, does it work? And if it works, then that's a pretty good start, I would say, and I wouldn't throw it out. See you tomorrow.
Dov Benyaacov-Kurtzman has embarked on a 12-week daily live challenge to disseminate a mixture of knowledge, combining his hand-picked golden nuggets from his personal library together with his decades of experience and learning. He is doing this as a committed action to service his values of contributing and helping others, using himself as the subject of this exercise. Despite his feelings of awkwardness, anxiousness, and shame, which usually forms a barrier of uncomfortableness within, holding him back from accomplishing his goals. Dov Benyaacov-Kurtzman is an accomplished psychotherapist and clinical social worker with many years of learning and experience. And yet his self-disclosure of his vulnerability and openness is to demonstrate the human condition that we all experience from time to time. Disclaimer: the contents of this podcast, such as text, graphics, images, and other material contained on the podcast, are for informational purposes only. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your mental health professional or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding your condition. Never disregard professional advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have heard on this podcast.